Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of OFC Monthly with some of the top stories from Oceania's world of football. I'm Gordon Watson, and first up we'll focus on the women's game ahead of the 2016 FIFA Under-20 World Cup hosted by Papua New Guinea. We catch up with both the Papua New Guinea and the New Zealand camps as they prepare to represent Oceania on the world stage. We also wrap up the New Zealand Under-17 Women's Team World Cup campaign last month in Jordan. It's a big month for some of the region's leading men's teams too, with crucial FIFA World Cup qualifiers in Tahiti, New Zealand, the Solomon Islands and New Caledonia. We profile a promising young goalkeeper from Samoa who is honing his skill at the OFC Education Centre. We'll check out a FIFA Grassroots coaching course in the Cook Islands and the OFC B licence coaching course recently held in Auckland. We also take a look at how Just Play's emergency program is helping children in the aftermath of Cyclone Winston. And we chat with Wellington Phoenix rising star Alex Rufer. But we'll kick off with the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Papua New Guinea's capital, Port Moresby. Following New Zealand, which hosted the 2008 FIFA Under-17 Women's and last year's Under-20 Men's World Cups, and Tahiti, the host of the 2013 FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup, Papua New Guinea is the third OFC member to stage a FIFA World Cup event. The host nation and 2015 and OFC U20 Women's Champions New Zealand will fly Oceania's flag at the 16-nation tournament. And as part of their preparations, the two OFC representatives have recently met in Auckland for a friendly international that ended in an 8-0 win for hosts New Zealand.
Absolutely, the scores, are relevant today. I actually thought our performance wasn't very good. We've been good coming into this, and I thought we were off the pace today for our normal standards. And I think it's a good challenge now for the girls. A really good challenge to get back on to the standards that we've set ourselves.
New Zealand's been playing at this level for a long time. They've been competing in the U20 World Cup. They qualified for OFC. And we didn't. We're the host country, so we're getting a bid into the World Cup. So for us, it's important to get experience like this, to play a team that's been conditioning and training for the last year, plus for this. We've been playing for like about 6 months, so 7 months of training doesn't catch up with what New Zealand's been doing in their developmental program.
I thought at times, PNG caused us some problems, especially one-on-one defending and physically. I thought they were dominant in that area right way through the game, and I was a little bit disappointed with our girls in that aspect. And we need to see a big improvement in that.
We know we're going to be outmanned in a lot of cases with other teams in the preparation that they've had, but can we make them earn goals? And I think there were some great New Zealand goals, but I also think there were goals that were way too easy. Individual mistakes by players or players not staying in their shape. So that's what we're looking to eliminate as we lead into the World Cup, is can we force teams to be great? And if they're great and they beat us, good. But if we just give them goals, and we gave them some easy goals early on in the cap.
I think we're in a good space going into this World Cup. We're not daunted. The reality is it's a tough group. We'll respect them, but we won't fear them. We'll go and have a go at all three of those games, and I think if we perform well, then you might see some upsets.
They gave us a tough group. You'd think they'd do us a favor having been the host country, but no, we play with we get Brazil, which is world class, of course, and then Sweden, who won the Euros, and then we finish with North Korea, who just won the U17 World Cup. So we have a target that we're going to play hard from start to finish, and we're going to control the things we can control, and then we're going to make sure that we're good sportsmen and that we give a good show.
Papua New Guinea will kick off their World Cup campaign in Group A against Brazil on November 13, followed by a meeting with Sweden 3 days later and Korea DPR on November 20. The Junior Football Ferns will face Group C rivals Ghana on November 14, 3 times champions USA on November 17, and European powerhouse France on November 21. One of the youngest members of the New Zealand squad is Hannah Blake, who has underlined her potential at last month's Under-17 World Cup with a hat-trick in the Young Football Ferns 5-0 win over host nation Jordan.
It was an amazing experience. You sort of hear stories from people, but it's not really the same. But going yourself is just amazing, and it's such a cool country. There was lots of sightseeing that we did, which just added to the experience, and playing against world-class teams was just awesome. Yeah, from a personal point of view, the hat-trick was pretty amazing. Like, you don't think about scoring hat-tricks at World Cups very often, but as a team it was a confidence booster. Obviously 2 losses was a bit of a shame, but I think it was an all-round good team effort, and it was nice to get the win, and all the girls were pretty happy about that. The call-up for the 20s was quite surprising. Obviously I had been training with them throughout the year, but sort of didn't really feel like I would be there for the World Cup. Just, yeah, it was really surprising. Obviously really good news, and I'm really excited, but yeah, it was a big surprise, but I'm glad it turned out. The girls are so lovely. Obviously they're a bit older, so you're closer with the girls from the 17s, but there's some girls from the 17s, so we sort of not necessarily hang out together, but are quite close. But all the girls are so lovely, and yeah, they're really welcoming, so it's pretty much just being in like a new team. Looking at the group, it's going to be 3 tough matches, but I think the girls are ready for it, and what's the point in going? But like, you got to play the best teams, and that's what you're playing for. So I think it'll be a good experience, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. I think I'll learn a lot, to be honest, more than anything. Just being able to see world-class teams play and being so close will just be amazing, and I think I'll learn a lot just that I can put back into practice here. Of course, we're going there to win games, and I think we want to do that playing our style of football. So I think no matter what the result is, we can come away happy if we play our style of football and just compete, and obviously we're there to win, so that's what we'll be aiming for.
New Zealand have lost their opening Under-17 World Cup match to Group A rivals Mexico, followed by a 2-0 defeat to Spain. However, the Junior Ferns have ended the campaign on a high note thanks to that 5-0 win over Jordan. In a busy period for New Zealand football, the All Whites are also facing crucial home and away FIFA World Cup qualifiers against New Caledonia. The reigning OFC champions will meet their francophone opponents high on confidence, following plenty of positive signs during their tour of the United States last month. Following a narrow 2-1 defeat to world number 17 Mexico, Anthony Hudson's men were good value for their 1-1 draw against the 24th ranked United States. With 6 teams remaining in the final round of Oceania's 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, the New Zealanders, who are in Group A with New Caledonia and Fiji, will first host Lake Agu at QBE Stadium in Auckland on November 12, before heading to New Caledonia for the second leg at Stade Yoshida in Kone 3 days later. Despite ranked 50 places below, New Caledonia have a competitive head-to-head record against the All Whites, with 11 wins and a draw from their previous 30 meetings. In their last meeting at the semi-final of the 2016 OFC Nations Cup, Anthony Hudson's men were made to work hard to edge past the spirited New Caledonians 1-0. Meanwhile, in Group B, which includes Tahiti, the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea, the action kicks off in French Polynesia with a visit of the Solomon Islands on November 7, before the return leg in Honiara on November 13. Despite going into this year's OFC Nations Cup in Papua New Guinea as defending champions, Tahiti have failed to progress from the group stages. They will be determined to make amends against an improving Solomon Islands team which suffered a 2-1 semi-final defeat to host nation Papua New Guinea to narrowly miss out on the tournament's title decider. Powered by AIA, the OFC Education Centre at Auckland's One Tree Hill College has been the home of 7 promising student footballers from across the Pacific since early September. Recently, AIA Director of Healthy Living Initiatives Adrian New has visited the centre to meet with the participants and OFC staff to assess the future viability of the pilot program. Meanwhile, one of the centre's students, promising Samoan goalkeeper Pele Eti Fatu, has continued his development on and off the field to earn a full call-up to the Samoa Under-17 squad, which toured New Zealand as part of their preparations for next February's OFC Championship in Tahiti.
My dream is a goalkeeper in Samoa and play under-17 in Samoa, and next year play for under-20 and Premier League Samoa team, and next play for World Cup all country. My dream and my future.
Pele's an interesting young man. Arrived into New Zealand roughly around about a month ago. I spoke very, very little English, but I had a great big massive smile, which was infectious and still is infectious to this day. He's slowly increasing his vocabulary, his English vocabulary. But what I've noticed with Pele is a bit of a thread. He's a really nice young man. He's really come out of his shell. I think a bit of a culture shock in terms of the environment that he came into. Certainly the schooling environment is probably very different. But what Pele has demonstrated is he's demonstrated a real determination to apply himself to the situation and acclimatise to the environment.
I'm happy sport, my homestay, my school, and New Zealand. I'm happy.
Really proud of his development so far and how quickly he's picked up things. The goalkeeping coaches have admired how quickly he's picked up different concepts and different philosophies. So I personally think a very, very exciting prospect for Samoan goalkeeping in the future.
Oh, I think Pele's made a great start to stay here in New Zealand at the Education Centre. It's great to have the support of AIA and Pele has, I guess, from Samoa to here in New Zealand it's a big step, but he's certainly settling in, and he's been very honest about wanting to be a top goalkeeper in Samoa, and I think that's exciting for us to be a part of his journey.
A typical day will involve them arriving to school, going through to their classes, going through their classes through the day. At lunchtime they'll break, and we want them to integrate and socialise with the general population. And then the boys after lunchtime, around about 2:15, they'll turn up to the changing rooms, and then we'll go through our pre-training ritual, which is prayer, weigh-in, completing our well-being form so that we can monitor everything from mood to tiredness to muscle soreness to appetite. And then the boys will commence their duties. So they might have a water bucket, or they might have boots cleaning, or they might have sweeping the changing rooms. So we have quite a rigid ritual, and all the boys partake in that. And then we'll all come out, bring the gear out, set up. Boys will go through their warm-up routine, and then we're into it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying all day scholarship in New Zealand. Yeah, all friends from Samoa and New Zealand, and my friends, my team, so Vanuatu, Tonga, Cook Island, Solomon, Papua New Guinea. Enjoy all team.
From Pele's profile when he got here, there's certainly a number of things across his technical work that we need to do, and not just on the field, to be honest. I think as a part of this whole project is education of young men, and not just on the field but off the field as well. So in the classroom, their education, their overseas experience.
In school in New Zealand, 1-3 here, school, English, practice, so good for me.
All players that travel overseas learn from those experiences, and I'm sure Pele will be no different, both in a training environment and when they play games. He'll learn from that as well.
My homestay in New Zealand, in Samoa, so good for me. Never give up.
Yeah, the host families have been absolutely fantastic. They've been really welcoming, really accommodating. The boys have been really respectful, and they really appreciate the opportunity that the families are giving them to be in their homes.
I miss my family, my parents, and all my friends, my school in Samoa, but I'm okay.
To the Cook Islands, where 18 coaches from various football clubs have recently participated in a 5-day grassroots football course.
We started off the week with a number of people that were new to football, and today we've put on a festival for a bunch of kids who have all had a great time. Beautiful evening, and hopefully getting people falling in love with the game. Beautiful game.
I think the course was actually great, especially in this short time. The people in the course was also awesome. The instructor was great, and the support was there as well.
I found the course good and exciting because it was helpful to me and also to my fellow members of the course. It helped us learn and more about how to coach.
So far, we've been learning about how to coach for kids from 6 to 12 years. And we've been learning all new different things, different strategies, and learning the outcome of how we can develop our new generation that is coming into our football club.
I think there's been some that have really taken to the content and the things that we've done this week. A couple of teachers who hadn't had much involvement at all in football, so they've sort of started to understand what great football can do, both for kids' activity and human and social values as well. So it's been great.
The highlights was really seeing what Grassroots program is, so what entails of it, from the coaching, the instruction, and what we actually had to do. So it was good to know the actual meaning of Grassroots.
My highlight was finding out that our instructor, James, was an all-white goalkeeper. That inspired me to come to this course to learn more on what he knows about coaching and that I could pass it on to the young generations for the future.
My highlight is the organizing the festival today. So each of us all put in to organize our festival and what we're gonna do to make the kids happy and help them develop in their own football skills. And yeah, that's the highlight of my whole week today.
Last month, OFC also hosted a B licence coaching course in Auckland with an aim to arm the participants with the necessary practical and theoretical tools that are needed to deliver advanced coaching to players between 17 and senior age groups.
It's really an honour to see all of you here this morning and this week. I think the work that Patrick is doing, led by his team, is really a credit to OFC.
So the B license course is an advanced course under the OFC Coach Education framework. It takes place in two parts. It's a 16-day program where we aim to increase the coach's knowledge around the principles of the game. Especially in part one, we will focus mostly on the leadership component. To be eligible for the program, all the coaches must have a C license, and then upon our decision and evaluation, they're invited to participate in the program.
Personally, I can now see what coaching really means, or to be a coach and how to coach. Because before that, looking back at it, to me, I was just facilitating the team. So whichever team I was taking, I was facilitating. So after doing my first coaching course, I sort of was introduced to meeting the players' needs. So that's what influenced me to become a coach and to sort of pursue this journey that I'm on. And yeah, here I am now at the B license.
Today we're quite fortunate. We have participants from Solomon Islands, Samoa, American Samoa, Cook Islands, Vanuatu, PNG and Fiji. So it will make for a very fruitful experience where they'll be able to share their knowledge and their football experiences.
Oh, yeah. Now move around, move around.
Well, actually, I feel happy about it. I'm so excited. You know, being around guys, it's more, you know, you feel afraid. It's because sometimes they always take the lead and all that. But I'm so happy to be here to learn from them as well.
I'm really pleased that we have some women in this course, and it's really important for us to promote and educate and empower women to be on the field, to be coaches, because that sends some really good messages. It's also good that we have a woman instructor for the first time. And you know, we should all be proud of Nicola. She's going for her A license, and I think that's, again, brings credibility to us as a confederation.
Well, for me, it's the next natural step in terms of my instructing on courses to be able to facilitate on this one, and also to provide support to the women that are on the course if they find it easier to maybe ask questions to a female. That I'm here for them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the week.
I'm very proud of it, and that gives me a motivation to be also involved in the coaching career and to be able to successfully get my B license and be the first woman in Papua New Guinea to have come this far.
We've had women on the course in the past, but nobody successfully passed the course as yet. So these two, it's great to have them on the course because they're both coaching on national teams in their country.
When we finish from the course here, I'd like to go back and utilize the skills I have learned here in my coaching career. If I am appointed another coach, this will be an opportunity where I will impart the knowledge I've learned to the youth.
After the course, I will be equipped enough with the more coaching techniques and tactics and dealing with the players, how I could develop the players, how I could develop myself coaching.
There's a couple things that need to take place in order for us to continue to progress, and I think the club licensing that we are embarking on now will definitely provide a more consistent framework for coaches to be able to practice regularly. Yes, the coach education plays a role, but ultimately, if you're not practicing on a daily basis, it's difficult to become the best you can be.
My word of encouragement goes to women folks out in the Pacific that they have to come out and take on that challenge. Like most often, coaching is a male-dominated thing, but I'd like to encourage women to come out and take on that challenge, take the risk, and be part of it and enjoy it the most.
Well, I think the most important thing for children after an emergency is for things to get back to normal as soon as possible, for a sense of routine to be established in the lives of children as soon as possible. That's what's most important for children.
Our house was blown off. We went out, we ran, looked for shelter, and when we reached that shelter, it was blown off. My brother was still outside, cold and still crying. We went out to get him. My name is Paula Barablala. I'm 12 years old. I'm in Nasabsab Public School. When I saw a house that was destroyed, I felt scared and lonely.
I'm Sheldon Yett, and I'm the UNICEF representative to the Pacific. We've known for years that play is an essential ingredient for building skills in a child's life, for a child to develop. And the same can be said for sport. It's important for children to learn the social skills, the leadership skills, the skills that are necessary to work with their neighbors. All these skills are skills that can be learned on the sports field and are learned in the sports field and are reinforced. It's the skills of being a good member of the community, a good member of the society, the skills that allow a child to lead in their community and to communicate with others. That's why sports is so important for children and so important particularly after an emergency.
When the Just Play program came, it made me forget all about the cyclone instead. Make me feel happy.
My name is Philomena Tupua. I'm a 33-year girl from the beautiful island of Lakamba in Laos, and I'm a Just Play Emergency Program Coordinator. Some of them, they lost their homes. Some of them, they lost their parents and their families, one of their family. So that's why they're stressed. And especially their schools and their homes, their belongings and everything were damaged.
My name is Ashley Kumar. I'm 13 years old and I'm originally from Nandi and I'm schooling in Nasaronga Primary School. So when they came, they taught us many more things. So now these students, they know that after going to the washroom and before eating your meal, you should wash your hands so that it will kill germs. Whatever I did here, I shared with my family and friends. I played some games with them and I really enjoyed.
At first, during the program, when we started with the program, we can see that they're still stressed. They lose concentration. But once the program was introduced to the school and communities, we can see that it started changing their lives, the way they talk, the way they involve, they socialize with their peers and their friends in school.
You know, when I was meeting with children in the Just Play program, I was struck by two things. One, how much they just loved being there. They loved being with their friends and they loved playing on the sports field. But more importantly, they were really absorbing the other messages of life skills, the messages that are important to be communicated with other members of their family, messages on keeping their houses clean, keeping themselves clean, on preventing the transmission of diseases. It was amazing to see how basic messages like this can be transmitted on the sports field. And kids learn these messages very quickly when they've got a ball and when they're having fun. It was great to see that.
The Wellington Phoenix had a tough start to their 2016-17 A-League season, with 4 defeats from as many games to Melbourne City, Perth Glory, Sydney FC and Melbourne Victory. With plenty of room for improvement, one Phoenix player who is hoping to feature heavily in the coming months is rising star Alex Rufer, the son of former All-White Shane Rufer and nephew of Oceania Player of the Century Winton Rufer. The midfielder, who suffered a major injury last December, is keen to turn his own and his team's fortunes around.
I mean, I had inspiration looking up, and it was great having Winton and Dad to look up to. They've both been footballers since, a young age, and they've learned so much through the years, and so they've just passed it through to me. And having them tell me things every day has just helped so much for me, and it's also prepared me for a professional environment. I mean, there's always pressure in football. I mean, it doesn't matter what name you carry, but obviously having Winton and Dad that were, pretty good footballers, and I guess there is a little bit of pressure that comes with it, but I've learned to, just kind of get on with it and just, try and, go get away from that and just, do my own thing and play my game. I was playing in a game in December last year. And I broke my ankle and tibia in broke my leg and ankle in a game, in a tackle. Just at first I didn't think I did anything bad. I was probably in a bit of shock and hopped off the field. And then once we just for, I guess I didn't really want to go to the hospital because I thought I was okay. And the physios were kind of 50-50 on whether or not, because it didn't look too bad, and I wasn't in much pain. But then we went to the hospital just for a little, a scan and stuff and X-ray, and we got the worst news really, and I guess the recovery started then. But that was definitely for me the hardest setback and thing I've been through my career so far. But I think it's definitely helped me mentally, physically, and and even in my maturity as well. It's been massive, and I think bouncing back from something like that is just huge, because you learn so much, and it helps you just and I guess it's going to help me in my career. It happened around Christmas, and even though once afterwards I had these massive external pins coming out, I had them in for about a week before my real big surgery. So I was with family right up until the surgery, and I think even though I was really down, and negative, it was massive, because being around the whole family was there. They all came to Palmerston North to our house, and it was massive. You know, they helped me every day. You know, I was with my family every day. You know, there's nothing better than that. And Winton and Dad, even my brother, you know, like just seeing them every day and them just trying to help me every day with, you know, just saying things, and you know, I think that really did help. An hour after the injury, when the nurse or doctor came in and said, look, you've broken your leg and it's really bad, and your ankle, it's a terrible break. She said, you know, you might never play at the same level. That was for me one of the scariest, you know, and frightening moments, because obviously, you know, at the time, I just freaked out. But you know, after a while, after I started to get a bit more positive, a few weeks, even a month later, I just said to myself, you know, something clicked. I said to myself, I'm not going to let this define my career, and you know, I'm back now. So, I mean, it just shows you that if you put your mind to it and you work, you can do anything.
If they want to climb the competition ladder, Ernie Merrick's Chargers will have a lot of hard work ahead of them in the month of November, with games against Newcastle, Central Coast, Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City. And that's our show for this month, as we leave you with a reminder of the upcoming FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Papua New Guinea. Goodbye and see you next time.
Things are progressing really well. I think from our perspective we were lucky to take on a number of staff that worked on the Pacific Games last year, and also with the enthusiastic support of the football family, we've pulled together a really good operational team.
In 7 months, the organisation, through the PNG national government, had to ensure that we had 2 mini stadiums and 17 training fields. Now, so far we have allowed for those requirements to be met, and we had obviously the tick-off from FIFA.
We've got the community adopting all the teams, so they will be coming in their colours, they are practicing their chants, and they will be barking for each of the teams that they've selected.
We intend to deploy 1,200 personnel, police personnel, of which about 200 of them will be police women specifically.
On top of that, we've been lucky with a lot of capacity building opportunities that FIFA have provided through security workshops, through medical workshops, through observer programs where our VGMs went to Jordan. We've tried to be innovative in terms of our workforce and engaged with the Urban Youth Employment Program here in Port Moresby, which has looked to bring on you know, just under 1,000 marginalised youth, providing them with life skills, work skills, communication skills, ultimately to better them as people and make them more employable.
One of the biggest challenges was trying to get the turf to meet the standards, and we've achieved that in less than 7 months.
I'm excited, everybody's excited, and we want to have a very good championship that everyone will remember for a long time.